my name is Tina, and welcome to my Genshin channel. I've already uploaded a video about everything lore related from the Luna's 3 special program, so if you're curious, make sure to check that one out. For the first time since Notecry was released, we will be getting not just an Archon Quest, but also several other ones. We will be starting off with a Moon Prayer Night that involves Columbina returning to the moon, which likely won't happen since we know she will get weekly hangouts in Luna's 3, as we got a bit of a teaser for that later in the special program, and also Alice hinted at that as well. But talking about Alice, Tivet's Weak Borders and the Witches will likely be a part of that Archon Quest too. My only question is, how long will Notecry be in this festive decoration, since this should be an Archon Quest, meaning that future players after this patch should be able to experience it too, but then will the city just turn back to normal once you're done with the Archon Quest? Would be a shame, since I absolutely love the scenery, but whatever might be the case, I will for sure take a lot of shots around the place. We will be getting 2 acts once again, with Act 5's title referring to Hyperborea and the Frost Moon Scions, so my guess would be Witches, Weak Border, Causing Phantoms, Hyperborea, Spaceship. These will be a part of that. Act 6 will be called Melting Moonlight in the Morning Mist, so I think this should be the part about Columbina's return and the Moon Prayer Night itself. However, we know at least Alice will be involved in that too, with it presumably ending on an unsuccessful moon travel. But Columbina, don't worry, I'll take you to the moon, I promise. Moving on to our dragon boy, Durin will bring so many things with him. We know he should be part of the Phantom investigation, but he will also get his very own story quest, which is something that hasn't happened in a long time. Notecry characters were all integrated into the Archon quests, but as for Durin, we should be finding out more about him and how he's doing since version 5.6. We will be back in Mondstadt, seeing some old friends there, and tackling the issue of Durin's abyssal power. He still needs time to set into Tivet, but as you know from the drip marketing, he and Klee were scolded by acting Grandmaster Jin while playing in the city, so he seems to be doing pretty good. And if that's still not enough, there is always alcohol to help making friends. He's technically German, so it's not a problem. The story will likely be centered around the book that Anden's daughter left for him. It appears in multiple shots during the special program, even seeing the well-known witch plays from Simulanka. And it also will be about how he's battling his 2 sides, the Abyss Durin and the Simulanka Durin. And this is where I want to talk about his kit, because that will be the main element of that too, coming in Luna's 3 as a Pyro 5-star sword character. To choose from his 2 playstyles, first you need to click his Elemental skill, then if you press normal attack, he will enter his Abyss state called the Denial of Darkness. If you use Burst in this state, he will increase his own reaction damage, as well as dealing pyro damage to nearby enemies. But if instead of clicking the normal attack, you hit the Elemental skill again, he will enter his more friendly dragon form called Confirmation of Purity. This will make him more like an off-field pyro support, where after bursting, he will create a pyro aura, damaging enemies and decreasing their pyro res, as well as other elements by triggering their corresponding reaction. One cool thing about that is, his burst animation slightly changes depending on the state, either having an Abyss background or a fairy tale-like background straight from Simulanka. If you complete his quest, you will get what it seems like an alternative outfit for him too, to complete his glow up. Obviously, he won't have a moon wheel nor a moon sign, but he will be a part of a new group called Hexerai. More about that later. And finally, his level up material will be from Bobik? I mean, certainly not our Bobik, he's apparently all fine and journeying, but the Fatui does have other machines, I guess, and this one isn't looking that friendly. Emotionless killing machine. Unlike Jahoda, maybe the most emotion-full character so far in the game, coming in Luna's 3 as an Anemo 4-star bow character. While she's not getting her own story quest, some would argue every quest is her quest, stealing the show away. This won't be different this time around either, since we know that at least we find out more about the whole Magnet team and why Aino made a mechanical arm for her. As for Jahoda's kit, her Elemental skill will summon a little flask, and while she's dashing forward, it will be filled with the element of the first enemy she hits. Upon reaching the maximum capacity, she will throw it at them, dealing anemo damage. And if you have the moon sign bonus for the team, she will also deal periodic damage that corresponds to the collected element. Her burst deals a bit of anemo damage and summons little pawns that heal the active character. And get this, an actually amazing feature. If your active character is already healthy enough, it will then start healing your lowest HP team member. When you activate the Moonsign bonus, similar to the Elemental skill, these paws can absorb the elements too and deal corresponding damage periodically. I mean, it's not too bad, but a lot will depend on her constellations. If C6 Jahoda can give lunar boost just like I know, then I think she might be a better applicator in certain scenarios, but we'll need to see that once more info comes out. With all that being said, you would wanna pull for her, especially if you don't have Nefer, because she will also unlock the Intel Exchange option at Catherine, and she will have a similar watchdog style overview of everyone. However, these are not the only new characters in the game. With Luna 3, there will come a massive upgrade to some of the earliest characters through the Witch's homework. This is like the first time Genshin buffed old characters to this level, and I'm gonna be honest, this looks pretty fire. There will be a quest attached to it as well, and after completing that, you will get upgraded Hextech characters if they are above level 70. There will also be some quests with Venti. We got a peek into that during the special program, and let me tell you, this looks like we will get some lore with him, being always so mysterious. He will also get a new 5-star weapon, so I guess Venti meta incoming question mark. After completing the tutorial, you will also be able to get one of Razor, Fischl or Sucrose for free, in case one of them wouldn't be C6 already. But if they are not part of your team, you would wanna get them because of this new effect called Hexerai. I mentioned it with Durin, since he will also be a part of that group alongside all the new buffed characters. Similar to how Moonsign works, when you have at least 2 Hexerai characters in your team, they will do a little more of everything. But what exactly? The detailed info just came out, it's pretty long, I don't want to just completely bore you all, so let me summarize them all very quickly. As a reminder, these only work when you have at least 2 Hexerai characters on the team, and let me start with Venti, because it kinda seems like the Durin Venti meta is real. To unlock Venti's Hexerai, you will need to complete another quest, like the one on Nameless Island, but after that you will get a now pretty good on-field DPS. The most important change is that his burst will not only do more damage and get some good optimization, so you won't accidentally fire it backwards for a single enemy anymore, but during the burst, your normal attacks will change to piercing RMO arrows, making his best use case being on-field and just firing away into the Storm Eye. His constellations also get some buffs that I won't go deeper into, but they just give him some good stats. As for Klee, she mostly got adjustments to her normal attacks. Dealing damage will stack up a new buff for her, which in exchange will deal even more damage when firing her special charge attack. And what's that? During a burst, she will automatically fire a special charge attack after every 3 normal attacks. And the normal attack animation has been improved to make it smoother, so she just needs to click that normal attack during a burst. Her constellation buffs will help that too, making her a somewhat decent on-field Pyro DPS. Though I mean Pyro is already stacked, so I'm not that hyped about her. I'm sorry Klee, I swear I'll at least try to play with you when Alice comes out. Moving on to Mona, she gets a buff and enabling Vaporize, as if that reaction wasn't the most OP already. And it seems like she might be viable on-field now. Normal and charge attacks will increase the burst duration, so I guess it could work with a Pyro off-fielder like Durin. The buffs for her constellations, which I assume many of us have, will also focus on damage boost, both her own hydro reactions, and even giving party-wide EM buffs, so she might be back? We'll see. If you prefer other reactions, Albedo just out of nowhere might become one of the best Geo off-field support. Is Geo back? Is that back? Basically, when using his skill now, new isotomas will appear called Silver Isotomas. They aren't only just making sure there is at least some of them if the solar isotoma is destroyed, but they will also provide party-wide damage boost, which will even increase further with his constellations. Obviously, a lot will depend on numbers. I know, boring answer, but in principle, he could form a really good team with someone like Venti, who will just wanna burst and then do those normal attacks. Staying at off-fielders, still one of the best ones in the game, Fischl got some really simple but very nice buffs too. When Oz is summoned, from now on, she will give attack boost for the active character and herself when Overload is triggered, and the same goes for Elemental Mastery when Electro or Lunar Charge is triggered. And to make her even better, at C6, which I mean probably many of us have, when she is off-field but Oz is there, all of these buffs will be further increased. Actually a nice change, same playstyle, just higher damage. Same goes for Sucrose, very simple change. After using her elemental skill, now all party members will get their all kinds of attacks buffed by 5.71428%, which is actually the result if you multiply a well-known number in mathematics, 142,857. It's an interesting number for being both a Capricorn number and a cyclic number, but due to the length of this video, I won't explain what that means. Certainly not because I'm stupid and have zero idea. Her elemental burst does very similar things, but it will only increase the damage for Hexstrike characters by 7.14. You got the idea, it's 5 times that previous number. And finally, her C6 buff is linked to the burst. When the burst changes element, all Hexstrike teammates will get the corresponding elemental damage bonus, which is 8.56 times that number. Overall, fine changes, though not sure what could be a good team comp for her, because she's supposed to be a support, but this whole patch will push Venti DPS, so having so much ammo seems a bit overkill, but we'll see. And finally, as for Razor, now during burst, if his little sigils around him overflow, meaning you get more than 3, it will start dealing extra AoE electro damage and give you some elemental energy, so now it will be worth to just keep attacking even after you get 3 sigils. On top of that, his burst wolf damage will also be increased, and his C6 buff will include more efficient sigil collection and a crit rate plus damage bonus upon consuming them. Overall, just more damage in every step. These are all the new characters, but again, as a reminder, these effects will only trigger when there are at least 2 Hexstrike characters in the team. Durin will also have some passive around that, but that info is not yet released. Seems like nonetheless, we might be getting a Venti on-field and Durin off-field meta. Moving on to our last part, events, both in-game and some offline. We start the winter season with a little Netron throwback featuring mainly Vanessa, as she's participating in a new Dragonspine competition. The event will also have a connection to a comic which you might know from the Yaoi publishing house, called the Soulblazers saga, even though the text on it says something fighter, and I say something because while it's in the Fontaine script, the first letter is actually not a real Fontainian letter. I guess it's close to a B, in which case it says best fighter, but still. What's important is that it will feature Fiatana, who you got to know during the Netlan Archon Quest as one of Vanjiru's followers, or through Vanessa because she's a massive fan of hers. She says while Fiatana wasn't among the most famous heroes, she remains a legend adored and respected by the people. Seems like she got other fans too with her, and they will be forming a team for this competition. It will feature 4 different games, first of which is Snow Trace, a long-awaited return of Wind Trace with a few added challenges. Then we get Frontier Recon, where using a mini-Saurian, you need to go down hills, collecting coins and avoiding the obstacles. The third one will be Jade Pitching, which is kind of like a hit the target type of fair game, and finally, the last stage is Trial of Valor, which is just a usual fighting game where you need to configure each run with unique buffs. Doing these challenges can earn you a new 4-star bow and the usual goodies, including Primo Gems. The next event will be back in Netland, called Bing Bang Flinch Bowl, but unlike in previous occasions, where it was basically curling, this time around it will be a full-on pinball game. And finally, while staying in Netland, the last event will be Heroic Clash Saurian Brawl, in which you need to score points against other players using the Saurian's abilities. During Luna's 3, Liban will also take his visit once again after ghosting us throughout 2025. He will bring info again on a new region, but not in Shaznia. He will bring some info on a long-awaited Mondstadt expansion. Mondstadt is eating so good with Venti now getting more power. I guess thanks Istara? While we don't know which region it would be, highly likely this is going to be about Dornman Port. This port has been teased for so long, ever since 1.0, but all we know is that it's a bit further out from Mondstadt City, but it's still their port used for trade. Besides all of that, there's also gonna be some very Osu-like features added to the Osu game mode, where you can increase the difficulty very similar to the rhythm game. New echoes will be added, new TCG cards will be added, and just like in most patches, there will be some quality of life changes, like being able to sort by friendship level, in case you just want to use them for domains or something. Someone will definitely like that. For new players, reputation XP will be increased, and for the OGs, you can add directly using counter points to get those primos from Catherine. There is some UGC updates too, and the Chinese stream even showcased some popular modes, some of which I have shown you guys as well. However, I will mention that in my Millie Astra Monday series next week instead. And finally, as for the offline events, there was a little teaser, interestingly, in all of English, Japanese and Korean for what it seems like to be a Duolingo collab. Duo has tweeted about Genshin before, so this is not something brand new, but the fact it was shown in all languages except Chinese definitely looks interesting, and hoping we get some in-game goodies with that as well. We should know more about that on December 6th. But Chinese fans aren't left out either from events. We got a brand new animation for the Genshin Fest that will happen at the start of next year in Shanghai, featuring some pretty cool merch as well that I talked about in my Luna 1 special program video, including Prince's lamp, an actual night lamp, and some really cool looking Fatui coats, to which the pre-orders are already sold out. I think they lost it like at max an hour. And finally, this time finally, OnePlus will release an Ayaka phone in China. So all of you Ayaka fans, if you're thinking about getting a new phone, hold it a bit longer. And that's it. That's all I could talk about the Luna 3 special program. Once again, I have a separate video where I talked about everything lore, in case you are curious. There are definitely some pretty interesting hints scattered around the trailer. Make sure to check that one out too. But as per usual, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give a like. And if you want to see more content like this, then make sure to subscribe. I'm still on my Genshin channel, and see you in the next one. Bye bye!